Walking away, can be hard in some cases. It can be difficult when it's an ex or an old friend. When you're really considering walking away, you need to put yourself first, because sometimes when we don't walk away, it can take a toll on our mental health without us even knowing. Welcome back to the Junior Mints podcast. My name is Finn Lawler. I'll be your host. This podcast is here to help you guys navigate this crazy thing called life while helping you guys have fun at the same time. In today's episode, we are going to talk about when it's time to walk away from people or situations that are holding us back. So let's get into it. The main point of walking away is separating yourself from bad things that are toxic to you. Whether that be a toxic relationship, a toxic friendship, or just a bad situation that is out of your control. This applies to multiple situations in life. For example, if you know someone who is being a toxic person and they don't realize it, or it doesn't occur to them, you can do one of two things. The first and foremost thing you could do, and should do, quite frankly, is let them know that they're being a toxic person who isn't fun to be around. Now, this is the more direct way, but it only works a good portion of the time. More often than not, that person will either apologize and try to work on that behavior, or they'll completely ignore you. In which case, brings me to the second and more abrupt option, and that is to just walk away. Don't say anything, walk away. Sounds tough when I say it, but it could help. Part of adulting and navigating life is figuring out what types of people you want to surround yourself with, toxic people or not. Developing this discernment can be learned. I'm a person who wants to be surrounded with good people, and to do that, I have needed to weed out the toxic people in my life. It's just part of the game of life. It's no big deal. Let's talk about what it means to walk away from relationships. Now, I touched on this in the last episode, but let's break it down here. Breakups, as we all know, are not great. Some of us take longer than others to get over those breakups. One thing I've learned over the years, which is now a superpower, quote unquote, is knowing when to walk away from that person and move on. Again, use your best judgment and discernment to really figure out if you need to separate yourself from the person or situation, especially the breakups. Walking away, can be hard in some cases. It can be difficult when it's an ex or an old friend. When you're really considering walking away, you need to put yourself first, because sometimes when we don't walk away, it can take a toll on our mental health without us even knowing. So pay attention to how you're feeling internally and trust your gut. Just saying, trust your gut. Overall, I think it's important to know when to separate ourselves from toxic situations and people. Walking away helps establish assertiveness and helps ourselves know when to put our foot down. So use your best judgment when you're thinking about using this superpower. Now, it's tough because before you walk away completely, really think about it. And, it's just tough. And you guys have to know when to walk away and just how to do it. It's tough. It's part of life. It's not easy. But once you find those people that you really can connect with, it's going to make the game of life that much easier. A whole lot easier, actually. So, walking away is just tough. Whether it's walking away from a family member, relationship, friendship, you gotta just be assertive and put your foot down when times get tough, because the only person that's with you like 100% of the time is you. So you have to be your best advocate for those kind of situations. And one thing I did learn from an old coworker, and I still use this principle to this day, is to blame the situation, not the person. Like if a person is being toxic, don't blame them. Blame whatever situation you're in. I know that's very counterintuitive to what I just said in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes, but don't blame the person. Blame the situation. For example, if it's a breakup, right? Don't blame your ex. It's blame the situation. It has helped me get through some tough stuff, and they're still a person. You're still a person. Don't blame them. And if you blame them, that could cause you to hold a grudge. And grudges, believe me, I've held a lot of grudges over the years. Not helpful. So blame the situation, not the person. The person is just like you. They're trying to navigate life just as much as you. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Blame the situation, not the person. And thanks for letting me ramble on this episode of the Junior Mints Podcast. This has been the Junior Mints Podcast. I have been your host, Finn Lawler. If you got something out of today's episode, please subscribe to this video and give it a thumbs up. We have a bunch of other content on the channel, and I would love it for you guys to see. I would love for you guys to go see the other content that I produced. There's a bunch on there, and it would be greatly appreciated. So, anyway, thanks again for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys next time.